Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome everyone in attendance here and our viewing audience. I am opening the meeting of the Bristol Township Planning Commission. I'm going to ask you first to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And if there are any veterans in the room, you are permitted to salute uncovered, and you know what that means. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now I'm going to ask you to remain standing. To keep in mind our troops that are in harm's way, our prisoners of war, our killed in action, our missing in action, for the children who were separated from their parents, those suffering from these terrible wars, tragedies, and disasters, and any personal intentions you might have. Thank you very much. And before we get started on the agenda, I would like to introduce Mike Cox. He's a new member on our Bristol Township Planning Commission. And also Andrea Randolph. You can come up and sit in the chair. Okay. Andrea is the new alternate for our Planning Commission. I forgot the score on. Come on up. Okay, that being said, we have three items on our agenda this evening, but first we have consideration of the April 7th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting minutes. Commissioners, you all have copies of those minutes. You've had an opportunity to review them. I would entertain a motion.
I'd like to make the motion.
Second.
I have a motion to approve and second. Any comments or questions?
Abstain due to absence.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Aye. Thank you. The first item on our agenda is subdivision land development. Corey Littetieri, I hope I said that correctly. Thank you. 714 River Road, Croydon, tax parcel number 05-011-446-001, is requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval to subdivide existing parcel into 2 lots and construct a, I forgot what SF means, I'm a senior, detached single-family, there you go, single-family dwelling, detached dwelling, a driveway and walkways on lot number 1 at the above noted location in an R-3 residential zoning district. Good evening.
Good evening. My name's Chelsea Jackman. I'm an attorney with Begley, Carlin, and Mandio.
I'm sorry, your first name?
Chelsea.
Chelsea, thank you very much.
Hi, Chelsea. Hi, how are you?
Good evening.
Good to see you all. Welcome.
Okay.
I'm with Begley, Carlin, and Mandio. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant, Corey Littetieri. Seated behind me to my left is Vince Fioravani. He's the project engineer. Up on the screen, I have a depiction of the property that was just outlined. It's tax parcel number 05-011-446-001. As you stated, this is a minor subdivision and land development where the applicant seeks to divide the existing 12,000 square foot parcel, currently improved with 2 single family detached dwellings that share utilities into 2 separate conforming lots in the R3 district. The first lot, and Bob, if it would be okay to go back just to get a better idea of the picture. So here's the property we're talking about with the 2 lots. The proposed lot for lot 1 is to be 6,500 square feet and a new single-family detached dwelling with a driveway and walkways. in the same location and footprint as this existing dwelling on the site. And then the second lot is to be 5,500 square feet and a new single-family detached dwelling with driveway and walkways. So the result would be two newer, independent, single-family homes on two separate lots that have separate utilities, which I understand was requested by the township. So a little background and basis. So the property was originally created as one lot in a 5-lot subdivision approved in 1980. Over time, a second residential unit evolved, initially appearing as an expansion of the original garage and then later used as an apartment or an in-law suite. So this particular property has 3 front yards due to its irregular configuration at the intersection of River Road and Minnow Avenue, which severely restricts the buildable area here. So in March of this year, we went to the zoning hearing board. If any of you happen to see the recording of that particular hearing, there was candidly an issue with the current tenant of the property that Mr. Lettieri has there. And the purpose of going to the ZHB was to request a variance for a front yard setback of 7.5, where 25 feet is prescribed by ordinance, but currently existing at 7.5 feet, it's 7.4 right now. And so it was unanimously approved by the 4 board members that evening. However, again, there was a lot of talk about what is going on currently. Mr. Lettieri left that night. The next day went out and started cleaning up what was the subject of that hearing, which was that there was a lot of trash, that it wasn't being kept very well. And Mr. Lettieri is happy to share with you the things that he's done since then, but ultimately, if approved, that will be obviated because that person will no longer live there, and they are no longer going to be living there on July 15th. Is that right? Yep. Thank you. And so with that, we can move into a little bit more of the details of the plan, and I'll have Mr. Fioravanti go through the various waivers. Generally speaking, they are minimal waivers, but we can go through them line by line at the board's direction if you want to take them in turn one at a time. Should we do that?
You go right through the waivers.
Sure. Okay, Mr. Fioravanti. Actually, Bob, there is a slide that is just the waivers. Do you want to go through the waivers first, or do you want to do a summary of the plan real quick?
I guess we'll go through a summary of the plan and
Okay.
then go through the waivers.
And then it's just the 6 that you saw.
That's fine.
Bob, should we use the thing? Will it work? That one, okay.
Good evening, everyone. Vince Fioravanti, our firm prepared the plans tonight. Chelsea did a good job of explaining the history and how we evolved into the parcel that is in the condition that it's in. The old subdivision had the garage in it, and eventually it turned into an in-law suite, then an apartment that was sharing utilities between the two dwellings. Switch the slide. There's a laser. Okay, this changes the slide. Okay. So the slide that you see there depicts the existing conditions, and this is a kind of a unique property or a unique project because when we're finished, if I go back and forth between the two of them, the dwellings are going to be essentially in the same location that they are now. So there really won't be any visual impact. The dwelling on the bottom in Lot 2 is going to be rehabilitated, and the dwelling in Lot 1 is going to be replaced with the same front yard setback. Again, essentially the same location, same driveway, just 2 newer dwellings where there's 2 older dwellings now. Some of the benefits of what we're doing is kind of cleaning up what has evolved over the years. The first benefit is, subdividing the lots. The lot has 12,000 square feet, and the resultant lots will be compliant in terms of building coverage, compliant with everything except front yard setback, which they never were compliant with front yard setback. If you have 3 front yards going across here, all at 25 feet, and then you have the rear yards at 25 feet, the tract is 60 foot wide, so your building envelope's only 10 foot wide. But we did match the existing setback, I think it was 7.5 feet here. So the new dwelling is the same spot as the old one. So there'll be no detrimental impact there. The other thing that's, you can't see it, but the other benefit is the separation of the utilities. Again, currently, the in-law suite is connected water and sewer to the main dwelling, and then they're connected to utilities on River Road. So what we've done now with the proposed is the water service for the lower lot, Lot 2, will go right out to the side street. And the sewer service for the secondary lot will come through an easement on the first lot and then tie into a sewer extension up here on River Road, so that now the utilities are completely separate, the lots are completely separate, and the impervious coverage overall for the property is going to actually be less. So there'll be no stormwater impact at all. Even though the impervious coverage is going to be less, we're still putting a stormwater system here. You can't see it on this drawing, but there's a seepage bed here, Class B soils, well drained, so we're actually going to reduce the stormwater runoff even further. So overall, it's all positive impacts, but because of how old the area is, the first subdivision was like 1920, where they're all 20-foot wide lots, and then later subdivided like 1980. Because of that, the roads are 40-foot wide and right-of-way. There's a lot of waivers that are required to make it, conforming with the current standards. There's actually 7 waivers. So if you'd like, we can go through those. I think they're on here.
Did you say seven? I'm sorry, did you say 7 waivers?
7, yes. We had 4 waivers requested on the plans. And then as you start to go through the review, we saw 3 more that we need. And I do have an updated letter that we could pass out if you'd like.
Why don't we, if it's okay with the board, what we can do is, I'll have Mr. Fioravanti go through them orally, and they're listed on the screen here, and then I'll get copies of the new letter from
I have
Mr.
them,
Fioravanti.
yeah.
Chels, could the township get a copy too, because we don't have that yet?
Yeah. Vince has got one.
Here's 10.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the first 4 waivers were already on the plans, and typically they are related to the infrastructure of the roadways surrounding the project. The first waiver is to not require curb along any of the street frontages. The justification there, of course, is there's no curbing in the,
Pardon me. First, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Vince Fioravanti.
Vince. Thank you very much. And Vince, would you be so kind as every waiver, read the number for the records?
Sure.
Thank you.
Waiver 1 is from section 17745A, to not require curbing along any of the street frontages. The justification that there is no curbing along River Road or Minot Avenue to the south or west of River Road, Cedar Avenue intersection. Adding curbing to this property would not fit with the surrounding area and would actually be an expense without benefit. So in our minds, when you look at the surrounding area, curbing also has drainage impacts. It collects and concentrates stormwater. Then you need inlets and piping, and there's just no reason for it in this location. Waiver 2, section 17751A, 1A, to not require street trees to be planted along both sides of the streets. Again, when I look at the surrounding area, recalling that the streets here are 40-foot right-of-way, a 22-foot cartway, and you can see on the exhibit here, there's really not room for street trees, and they don't exist in a lot of areas in the community. So we're requesting that waiver as well. Waiver 3, 17793A1, to allow plans to be drawn at a scale of 1 inch is 20 instead of 1 inch equals 50 or 100. That's just a drafting comment. Allowing us to draw the plans at 20 scale allows us to make the plans larger and more clear than it would be at 50 or 100. That's for larger sites. Waiver 4, section 17793C3, to not require existing features within 200 feet of the subject property to be included on the site plan. And the justification, which is a typical waiver, is that all existing features that are relevant to the project have been shown on the plan. So it's not that we're not willing to go off-site, to locate features. We actually did that. but we look at everything that's relative. Waiver 5 is one of the new ones, 17735B, to not require widening of River Road and Minot Avenue, if I'm saying that correctly, to a right-of-way of 50 feet and a cartway width of 26 feet, where the existing right-of-way of both streets and surrounding area is 40 feet and the cartway is less than 26 feet in this area. It's approximately, it varies whenever you have existing cartway, but the cartways in this area are generally about 22 feet wide, and the road's right-of-way is 40 feet. So we're requesting a waiver to not have to widen to 50 feet and widen the road. The justification, the surrounding streets are 40-foot wide, the paving is 22-foot wide, plus or minus, and there'll be no benefit to adding additional impervious surface or widening or additional paving. Waiver 6, 17743A, to not require the installation of sidewalks on River Road and Minot Avenue. There are no sidewalks in the community. That will be the justification. There are no sidewalks in the community, and therefore the addition of sidewalk along this project frontage would be an expense without benefit in our opinion because there's nothing to connect to. Waiver 7 is the last waiver, 17748D3, to allow grading within 5 feet of a property line. On a small site like this, for an example, there's no significant grading being proposed here, but the sanitary sewer, for example, comes up the side from the lower lot along an easement that we're creating into the street where there's a lateral that would connect into the sewer that we're extending. So just the excavation of the sewer, it's aligned with the property line, probably 5 foot off the property line here. So there will be some grading within 5 feet of the property line, but it won't be significant and it won't have any adverse impacts on the adjoiner. So we're requesting a waiver to allow grading within 5 feet of a property line. And that was the end of the waivers. We did receive review letters from Gilmore Associates, Fire Marshal, and the traffic engineer from Panoni, I believe. And they're all will comply. And we have these 7 waivers that would be required.
Thank you, Vince.
Okay.
Commissioners, you've heard the presentation. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion. Sorry, 1 second. To recommend to council the subdivision and land development of Corey Lettieri, 714 River Road, Croydon, tax parcel number 05-011-446-001, requesting prelim and final subdivision approval to subdivide existing parcel into 2 lots and construct a storefront? What is SF? Single-family detached dwelling, a driveway and walkways on Lot 1 at the above noted location in an R3 residential zoning district, along with the 7 waivers requested in the Fioravanti letter dated June 1st of 2026, noting that the Panoni letter and the Gilmore and Associates letter dated April 29th of 2026 is also a will comply.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and second. Any comments or questions about the motion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Ms. Figueroa's defense, I mouthed square foot when you had asked what SF stands for. And I think that's why she thought, I think that's why she just said storefront instead of single family. So
I'm like, what is
I would have
she
fallen on
saying?
that sword for you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chelsea, for coming to my defense.
Thank you very much.
You know what,
The-
Bob?
The next item on our agenda is a sketch plan application. This is from Flagship, Pennsylvania, Propco LLC, 2 Mid-America Plaza, Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois, is requesting a sketch plan review to redevelop the site into a car wash use D16 with associated drive area and parking lot on the property located at 555 South Oxford Valley Road, Fairless Hills. Tax parcel number 05-046-387 in a C commercial zoning district. Good evening.
Good evening. My name's Bernadette Kearney from Hamburg Reuben.
What is it again?
Bernadette
Bernadette,
Kearney?
thank you,
Yes.
Bernadette. I neglected to put my hearing aids in today,
I have mine in.
so my apologies for that. Okay, Bernadette.
And yes, as indicated, as you read, we're here for a sketch plan. We had filed a sketch plan and had an informal meeting with the township staff in reference to the proposed car wash. And as you see on the PowerPoint, it's a spotless brand. If you actually go to, I think it's page 5, it might be page 6 because of the, yep, there, you'll see where the proposed car wash is located. And
Is your microphone on? Again, it's my hearing aids.
I think it is, because the green light's on. Yeah,
Yeah, it's me.
okay. I'll
Okay.
try and talk a little louder.
There you go, appreciate it.
Yeah, so where the proposed car wash is located, it was a photography office building, a photography studio, I should say. And there's 2 lots there that are where we're going to locate the proposed car wash. It's in the C commercial. We recognize that we'll need to go get a conditional use for the car wash, and that they're also, as part of the review letters, Gilmore has pointed out, we do need some zoning relief as well. So we do want to meet with the neighbors, but we felt it would be best to come to the Planning Commission first, get your feedback, so that when we go to the neighbors, we're not showing one plan and then showing them another plan because of the feedback that we receive. I do have here with me tonight, and I'm not going to say her last name correct, Sarah and Costaglialio, and she's going to tell me I said it wrong, from BL Companies, Ray Gargano from Spotless, which is the car wash, is going to be here, and Guy DiMartino from Traffic Planning and Design. So I don't know if you have any specific questions, but we'll be able to answer them. Ray is going to talk about the operation of the Spotless car wash, and we can go through the layout of the plan and also how circulation will work on the site.
Bernadette, I do want to, I do appreciate that you wanted to come in front of us before you talk to the neighbors.
Yes.
Kind of look at, you're putting the cart in front of the horse, because normally we asked applicants to speak to the neighbors before they speak to us.
Okay.
So we have an idea of what the neighbors already think. If you go to them after you speak with us, you may be planning something in their heads that they didn't even think about, or things they may be not even thinking about. So that's normally what we ask you to do, but go ahead, continue.
Yeah, and that's why we did the informal sketch first. We didn't file the preliminary plan at this point, so.
Okay.
But yeah, why don't, Sarah, I don't know where she went. Oh, why don't you come on up and just give us an overview of the site?
So my name is Sarah Castagliola. I'm the engineer on the project.
Good evening.
Good evening. So to give you a lay of the land, we have Fairbridge Drive on the west side there, South Oxford Valley Road on the south, and Saxony Drive on the
So are you
east.
using your pointer so
No, I was pointing with my pen.
our viewing audience can see what you're talking about?
Oh. That's the wrong button. Which one's the point? This one. There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Fairbridge on the west, South Oxford Valley on the south, and Saxony Drive on the east. This is the Fulton Bank next door. It's the point to orient you, and then the Giant is over here. So currently on the site, there is 3 existing driveways. There's 2 properties here with the line right down the middle. And there's a driveway located over here, one over here, and then one over here in current conditions. And so in the proposed, we are closing the one on South Oxford Valley, but we will be left with 3 driveways. So all traffic entering the site will enter off of Fairbridge Drive right here. This is employee parking you see to the north. And then these are the 3 pay points for all customers for the car wash. You'll proceed through the pay points, loop around, and then this is an automatic car wash. You stay in your car for the duration of the wash. You'll exit, and then this is a one-way driveway to the east where these are vacuum spaces where you can vacuum on your own. And then everyone will exit on Saxony. This driveway is only for emergency vehicles and deliveries or trash trucks. So that's the only purpose of that driveway. One thing to note is that these pay stations, they have no noise or speakers coming out of them. They're not like the ones you see at gas stations. And that is the brief summary. And we have Ray here, who from Spotless, if you have any more detailed questions about the operations.
Would you like a quick I can talk loud. Let me go
Okay.
Just a quick description of
And you are?
My name is Ray Gargano.
Thank you, Ray.
I live in Elverson, down the road here. Grew up across the river, actually, in Florence. So the Spotless is a company that owns car washes across the country. We have 4 different brands. This brand in the Northeast, from Virginia up through New York, will be Flagship. We have one down in the kind of Tennessee up through Ohio area. We have one down in Oklahoma called Okie. We were real inventive with that name. And then we have some out west in Denver and Arizona. Total, we have 230 car washes open, probably have around 20 under construction right now. In this area, we've just opened 2 locations, one in Phoenixville, one in Trooper. They are different. We have different types of operations. This one here is what we call an express. It is a car wash only with free vacuums. If you go to Phoenixville and some of the other locations we have, certainly down in Maryland where we have right now Flagship has 50 locations. If you go down south, we have what we call a flex, where it's a full service, where a lot of them, the one in Phoenixville, for example, we've took a existing Rite Aid, converted it into a car wash with 2 full serve tunnels inside. So you come in and you get it's a 12-foot belt, you sit on it, people clean it and do that. When we work off of a membership, you can buy an individual wash, we work off a membership program that if you buy a membership, you can get washed at any of our locations. We have the 2 we've opened recently, we have 4 in this area under construction, and we just purchased, I don't know if anybody here knows, Pete's Car Wash is being converted into Flagships right now. So we will have in the next 3 years, we have right now 40 locations that are in development. So we're making a commitment to this area, the general area, most of it up here, kind of surrounding Philadelphia, but we're making it, and in New Jersey, about the same amount of locations. The interesting thing about these sites, Sarah mentioned that the POS don't make any noise. They're not a fast food where you can hear it forever. We are a modern system where we do a sound study before we come in to make sure that the sound meets the codes. We have lots of methods we do that. We're only open 8 to 8. We own all our sites. We run all our sites. They're always manned. So at 8 o'clock, we shut down. In the winter where there might be some lights, they get turned off. We normally lean toward the turning them off. Obviously, if the town asks us to keep certain things on for safety, we do those things. The vacuums are not the old style vacuum where each one makes a lot of noise. They are a central unit that in a place like this we will put in a enclosure, because that's where 90% of the sound comes from. So it'll be an enclosure so you won't have a ridiculous amount of sound. Just going through all the things there. You notice there's no machines on there. That site you're looking at right there, the site you're looking at right there is our one in Vineland, New Jersey, which is very similar to the one it's a full service that we have in Phoenixville. They're very similar. That's also an old Rite Aid. I'm not sure if there's anything, you got any other
Okay.
questions you have? Any things about the wash or?
Yes, through the chair. I have a number of questions for you, if I may.
Certainly.
First of all, I just would like to say that since it is a sketch plan and we are here just to review and give you some, do's and don'ts, maybe.
Yes.
The residents on those two streets absolutely 100% need to be notified.
Absolutely.
And a discussion, and I don't just mean one house. Sometimes people come in and they'll do like one house here and one house there. I mean the residents on both of those streets, if you could.
One of the reasons I'm here tonight is because I'm the vice president of development construction. There's a person that works with me and for me, John Lombardo, who will probably be at some of the other meetings. He is at a community meeting with probably about 50 people there right now in Bear, Delaware. So that's we're committed to doing that, and it's very rare we don't. I mean, sometimes we don't because we can't seem to get people interested, but most of the time we have some type of meeting. The one down in Bear that we're doing right now is the second meeting. The first meeting was very contentious, a lot of concerns.
Yeah.
This meeting has fixed the majority of the issues they were concerned about, and we've moved forward with the town. Town's aware of everything we did, and we're just making sure they know. So this one we're doing now, we didn't need to do. But we want them to understand exactly what we're doing and how it's going to work, how the final traffic is. We had to run some additional sewer lines. I mean, there's a lot of issues there. That's why he's down there, and I'm here today.
Okay, perfect. But so notifying them. You indicated the operating hours are 8 to 8. So would that be Monday through, is that a 7-day week operation?
It's usually a 7-day week, but if we wanted to make some adjustments on like a Sunday or something, we're not against that. We would want to talk about it, but we're not against it.
Okay, only because.
And in the winter, we do tend to close. They tend to close a little earlier in the winter, only because people don't start coming in the winter. But that's hard to project.
Okay, is that one that we're looking at now? Is that the model that you're looking to put on that site?
Yes.
Okay, how tall is that, especially that one side that seems?
26, 27 feet, or is it higher? Okay, it's high. It's 35 feet.
35 feet. Okay. Now.
The signage will be facing the road. If you take a look at this, we jump through it. It does show some signage on the back side. There's no point in putting signage on
Okay,
the back.
so that height of that right there is 35 feet?
Yes, it is.
The tall one?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Other questions on there too. On the one plan that you had, if you could go where you had, a little sketch of it. No, keep going. It was the sketch. That.
Yes.
Okay. In the sketch plan review, it looked as if you weren't putting any buffer plantings around the back. You were just doing a sound wall.
Right now, there's a sound wall. We will put, if you look there, there's some buffer planting. That's part of what we have to talk to the neighbors about. Because, for example, right now, I think the code is a 6-foot fence is kind of code. If I go higher, I need a variance. We're certainly willing to go higher and put a better, and when we talk about a sound fence, it's not just a regular fence. We've been using a system that puts sound dampening materials in between two wood fences, and it's working really well. But what we've done in several locations is we've come to you and say, okay, we want to find out. Some people want it higher, some people don't want it higher, but if they want a higher fence, I would add that to my variances, because the people who are going to argue against it are the ones that are going to agree to it. So we would come in and we would look at that, and the plantings there would be, by the time this is done, we know they're going to be robust, and we would make them robust.
Okay, so you would be putting a buffer planning there and the sound wall. That's what your plan is, both of those?
Yes. And if
Okay.
you look at it close, there is some stuff in there. I just don't know if it's not a final plan and how high we want to go and what we want to put there. But that, I would expect in a place this close to residential, that would be full. Do you have an answer on that?
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. So the initial plan we submitted didn't show
Right.
landscaping because we typically don't show that on our site plan. What you see here is from our landscape architect of a preliminary planting plan. And once we submit preliminary and final, it will include that detailed planting plan as well. But one of the variances we are seeking will be for the buffer because we don't have the required width. But we are able to include the amount of plants.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that, and it's normally 30 feet, right? And you're asking for 11 feet.
And
so that's
after the sketch
another-
plan comments, we were able to get another 5 feet, so we are able to get now 16 feet to the closest point.
Okay, that's another thing definitely to make sure that the neighbors there, because those two houses, if you leave, they're right up against it. So then in addition, I mean, lighting, how's that lighting going to impact at nighttime, say their backyards and things like that? I mean, to me, as somebody who would be living there, which I'm not, but I'm just saying these are all things that we want to make sure that we want the businesses to come into the area. We want to welcome businesses, but we also need to make sure that we do the right thing by the neighborhood.
Normally what we would do is, and I don't have off the top of my head your code, but most of the time you have to have zero bleed into the neighbor. The advantage I think we could do here is we would have the cutoff lights, but we would move them to the edge of the curb so you actually have more room. And the fact is we do, there's some months in the winter where we may be open for a little while, but most of the time, those lights aren't going to be a big issue. Like today, I mean,
Yeah.
Today's a bad example. We're getting to the August days.
Yeah.
I mean, but as we get into it, but we could work through that. We could work through how we turn them off, what we do, how we shield them. No question about it.
Okay. There's another thing too, just so that you're aware of. See where that automotive place is across from you? Okay. Typically right now, they have overflow cars that are lined up on that street. And then they also use the back parking of that existing property for their overflow cars. So now once if you own and build on that property, that's not going to be happening. So those residents, again, they're going to be impacted by more cars parked on that street. That's not your problem, but where I'm getting to this is you don't ever have stacking coming out onto, or you don't anticipate stacking coming out onto Fairbridge Drive to wait to get into the car wash.
No, never.
Okay.
And we have a traffic engineer if we want to get into that here. We've done studies on our busiest sites and how many cars we get. And normally at busiest, well, first off, in a lot of cases, people are surprised the trip counts that we do and how they work. But at the end of the day, we have enough stacking here that our busiest locations would not go onto the street. And if for some reason we did run into a problem with that, never is a big thing. There's always something goes wrong, something happens. But we have staff here all the time. If something of that would happen, we would shut down any entrance and we would make sure people knew that they had to move by. But this site has enough stacking to manage from the traffic studies that TPD has done, will manage the amount of traffic we get at our busy sites. Most of the time in these sites, you're going to have very little stacking here. Because it flows through. The car wash is fast. We have enough vacuums out front to make sure that not everybody gets a vacuum. When you have a membership especially, a lot of times they'll come through and they might vacuum it once a week, but they get it washed a couple times a week. Or they may go to some of our other locations if they have a full service at one of the other locations that we'll start doing. But the traffic through this site will move quickly, it'll go well. And when we look at our stacking at our busiest locations, this has enough stacking to handle that. And again, the traffic engineer can talk to it today. He'll certainly talk to it about it when we bring in the site plan approval.
Okay. And I have one last question on this. There's no like bypass lane going around there, right? So let's just say there's an emergency.
They can go, what they'll do is again, we'll have usually, if it's really busy, we'll have 4 employees here. A lot of times it's 3. They would let them through the POS, and they would just come out there to that stop and leave. So we would handle that individually. We don't get a whole lot of those, but when it does happen, and that would be the bypass. You would bypass out, down past the entrance, right there where she's going, and you go out there.
Another thing to add to that is the way Spotless operates these. There's a members only lane, and so those they've already have their membership, so it's just scanning their license plate. So that lane is moving a lot faster. There's no one stopping there to pay.
That can be anywhere from 40 to 70% of the people when it gets controlled. So what you have is it scans all of them. So say that for some reason there's
Sir,
no.
can you just make sure you're talking to the mic?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It scans, all 3 of them scan if you have a membership, but the outside lane is for members only because as we get more mature and the site's there, you get a lot more members, and that feeds the traffic through. The gates, are timed. They let one out, then they don't let them all out at the same time, so it flows well. But it will. Again, it'll flow, and the stacking is, we can show you, the stacking is good here.
I have a quick question. You mentioned that south entrance on Fairbridge is for delivery trucks. Where is the delivery truck going?
Mostly it's for trash pickup. Delivery trucks, all the deliveries we get at this site are in an Amazon type van. We don't
They
have.
would just park in like one of the
They park in one of
vacuum-
the spots. It's 5-gallon jugs. All the products are biodegradable. They've been tested. We can supply with all that information also. But they come in. They come in with big bags of towels and 5-gallon jugs.
Oh,
and
okay.
and normally they're going to try to get there anyway, but early in the day when there's not a ton of traffic. That's how we direct them. Same with the trash. But that's mainly more of a trash thing because so we don't have to worry about a bunch of turning radius for a trash truck.
All right, perfect.
Where is the trash?
All the way up in the front of there, right there.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's it.
So like
And
as
that'll
they're
be an
coming out of the
enclosure,
exit.
and it will, normally we make it match the building. Again, when we go through this, if there's an architectural review, if somebody wants to look for something, we're open to that. This is our prototype that we're showing you here, but we're also aware that, there's towns have things they like, and if you saw our new site in Trooper, it's different than this. So it's, we're open to talk about that also.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question, Ray.
Sure.
Looking at, not to belabor the point on the reaching out to the community and the idea of what does that look like? Is that a letter with what the plan is going to look like? Is it in conjunction with a town meeting, a public meeting, a little bit of both? And what's the time frame of that?
Let me do the first ones because the time frame. I got to think about the time frame. So I'll think. It's usually a letter. We can discuss it with you how far we want to go. It's a letter. It shows it's kind of a brochure showing the site plan, all the things we're doing. Tells you a little bit about the company. The company will come in and be a member of the community. It will want its name on one of the Little League teams, things like that. We do all those things. And then we would have a meeting, with a town meeting. We would have to figure out where that is. It differs. We've had them in all different places. We've had them in the town halls. We've had them in bigger, if we look like we're having a lot of people, we'll find some place we can do it. We may go to, ask a school, we'll do whatever we need to do to get that. And then timing, really with the way we want to move these things, I would say it would be within the next 60 days I just know when I talk about all the development we're doing, we're being very aggressive in moving forward with a lot of sites. I mean, we go through all the steps and we want to do everything, but we're trying to move and get ourselves set in these areas quicker. Sooner is always better. I would think it would be in the next 60 days, but I need to make sure of that. But that would be, as I direct John, who will probably see at some of the other meetings here, as I direct him, I want it in the next 60 days. So that's kind of how we probably move.
Just to respond, Ray, sometime there's an old saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And
Yes.
so the idea of looking at the plan, right on the plan, it looks great as me being up here, but for me being the person living either, behind it or, across the street from it, it's a completely different actual concept. When I first got onto the board, I had to call a friend and say, well, what's a paper road? And he said, go out and look at it. And what I saw on the blueprint and what you see in real life sometimes is not reality. So the best reality is really getting the community involvement, getting transparency, and being completely upfront.
Absolutely.
And that is one of the things that we always talk to our applicants about is we want the business coming into the town. We're open to all kind of businesses coming into town. Our most important issue is our residents, and we want to make sure that they're comfortable with the businesses that are coming in town.
When we have these meetings, we don't only just do well, obviously we sell it a little bit. I mean, we try to show the advantage, all the things we do, but we also, part of our meetings is we talk about all the variances we need. So basically, in some ways, it sounds a little crazy because we're kind of giving them ammo to come in here and argue about what we're doing, but we find that it makes sense to make sure they know exactly what we're doing and they don't walk into a meeting pitchforks and things. And I want them to understand what we're doing and how it goes. We've done it a while. And that's what we need to do here. We need to talk through it. We talk through all the issues, things like traffic, things like stacking. One of the things we haven't brought up yet is sound. Car washes can be loud. We've got a whole system with these new car washes, how we can do it, and we'll meet the requirements of the town. And the beauty of this is the way it's pointing, it's not, the sound will be going away from the houses. But we need to show them that, where the sound is near their home, it's going to be pretty much like almost 2 or 3 people talking. That's the type of sound that you're hearing. And we want to make sure they understand that. I'm not going to not bring it up.
Well, possibly the reason it wasn't brought up by us, because in your initial presentation, you talked about the sound.
Yeah, I understand. No, I'm just saying, I figured at some point somebody was going to bring it up. But and it is an issue. It's an issue with car washes. And if you go to old car washes, even newer car washes, I go to them and sometimes the people just aren't looking at that. We have a company that comes in and they're a sound company that does a lot of different business, but they become car wash. And every time we have a problem, we go to them, and it's amazing because they're doing a lot of car washes, and they know the different systems. We do sound absorbing material inside the building if we have a sound problem. We put up extra walls. We make the doors. That prototype has a certain size door. If I'm having a sound problem, I'll shrink that door down. There's a lot of things that we do to try to keep the sound inside the building.
Okay.
We also recycle our water. We try to, do all those sort of things also.
Well, one other question. So you talked about the sound from the actual car wash itself, but then you said the vacuums. Earlier in the presentation, you said something about the sound from the vacuums.
The sound from the vacuums come from a central unit, and what we'll end up doing is in one of those green spaces, we'll have a small building that unit will go inside that building and muffler out the top away from the houses so they won't get the sound. You don't, if anybody's driving through Trooper in the next couple weeks, stop at our Trooper site. You'll be amazed when you come to the vacuum. The only noise you hear is the people who've pulled them out, and you hear them kind of through their car. You don't get that loud noise you used to get. And what we found is there's a couple different brands that we were using, and in places like this, and I'm not gonna remember which one it is, but there's like 3 different types of, that all look like that arch and different types of arches. We've, as a group, have talked to our designers and said, you know, anytime we're near a house, you gotta use that version because it's super quiet when we do it right. So that's what we wanna do.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I have a few questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Your conceptual drawing shows basically 20 to 25 cars if you're stacking in through there,
Yes.
coming off of Fairbridge.
Yes.
I guess my question is, if they're going out Saxony or they're coming in Fairbridge, I see your overhead shows, you know, the houses on the east and west side of both Saxony and Fairbridge. What about the houses behind them? What's going to stop customers from trying to avoid a 5-lane major thoroughfare with a turning lane in the middle and say, I'm not going to wait to get out at this light, I'm going to cut through the section?
The real answer is probably nothing, but except, I was out there today before I came here. You're not saving a whole lot of time going back through there. I don't know if you've driven, it's a long straight road that goes.
I'm well aware of the
Yeah.
road, okay?
I was wondering about that.
I'm also well aware of the traffic that comes east and west on Oxford Valley Road. Like I said, it's 2 lanes with a turning lane in the middle. I'm not sure what the speed limit is there, but most days it's 50 to 55. People are not only going to not chance getting out. My concern is the frequency of an accident, of somebody pulling out of there and somebody saying, I'm not going to make, I want to come out on the Oxford Valley Road off of Saxony and I want to go west. I got to come across 3 lanes of traffic with the crest coming over. I'll just turn left and go through Fairbridge and loop around and come out behind the old Walmart there. Is there any consideration into what's going to stop people? Because they're not going to come out that way, I'm telling you. That's a bad road. And my concern is the traffic that's going to go through them 2 sections. I understand what you're saying about the noise. That's engineering. That can be fixed. When somebody's going to cut through somebody's section, we're not only affecting the houses that are directly behind it, we're affecting the whole section, and that's my concern.
I mean, from a standpoint, we'll do a traffic study. We'll do it. I mean, one of the things we can do, and we would not be against at all, is making that, when you come out of there, is making it a right out on the exit. So it doesn't go back through the neighborhood. I don't know if that doesn't fix your problem.
No, it doesn't, because if your conceptual drawing showing that, say like you had mentioned, we had just finished a big snowstorm. We got 20 cars cattle chute in there. Where are they all going when they come out? Because they're not getting out on the Oxford Valley Road very quickly. They're going to cut through Fairbridge.
The one thing that, and I think you can talk to this, is the one thing that a car wash does, you may get a rush of people to the POS and paying to go through, but you don't have a rush coming out because they're coming out the car wash actually
Slows it down.
And makes a steady, minute, and then it gets into the, go ahead, if you want to talk about gaps and.
Good evening, Guy DiMartino with TPD, traffic engineer. And I guess just to expand on what Ray was saying about traffic kind of being controlled as it comes out, the second point to that is after the customer goes through the tunnel, some customers might just automatically leave the site, but a number of them are going to choose to use the vacuums as well. And then depending, one customer might use the vacuum for 2 minutes, one might use it for 10 minutes. It's varying time, so that kind of controls the traffic, how it leaves as well. So that's another aspect to that. To your point with traffic though, and how it's gonna come out, certainly we'll, if it's required, we're gonna do a traffic study. We already have some preliminary numbers, but we could do a formal traffic study evaluating the operations of Oxford Valley Road, and see how that flows. I don't disagree that, I mean, obviously it's a major highway, a major roadway out there, 5 lanes.
And the whole 20 cars, that's only, what, twice a week that we even see anything that remotely hits that? Most of the time, it's much less.
I mean, that was the busiest peak period that
Like
we
on a
ever
Saturday.
observed.
Yeah, but that's your capacity. That's, like you said, in a perfect world, you're only doing 1 car at a time. This ain't a perfect world. You're gonna have 20 cars in there. That's what the conceptual drawing says. That's what I have to plan my decision on. There's gonna be 20 cars coming out of there. Agreed?
Well, as they're paced, not all at once. You're not gonna have 20 cars stacked coming out, that's all. Because they can't work their way through the wash. They're working their way through the wash at a pace. It takes, if you have a rush, it's gonna take them through and they're gonna come out on a more normal pace. But yes, what you're saying is not, you're right. What you're saying is correct.
Okay.
But it's not all cars at once. There'll be times where there'll be more cars than others, absolutely.
And I understand your point, but we got a ton of car washes around here and we all seen them. They all back up. You guys aren't the only game in town. There's 4 other car washes within 5 miles. So that's my concern, that we'll see the same thing that we see at the other ones. There'll be peaks and valleys, we understand that. But we have to be prepared for the worst because we gotta answer to the residents.
How long does it take to get through the car wash?
4 minutes, 3.5, 4 minutes. They can adjust that speed also. It's normally when it's during a normal day, they can slow that down to make sure it's even. If you get a rush, they can pick it up and get a few more cars through an hour. So it's an adjustable. They don't change it a lot. It's usually when, and you get there's a certain level you can go so fast and you don't get the same wash. So they want the wash to work, they want the dryers to work. So, but there is some adjusting in there.
So I guess just another thought to address with residents is, so if it's 4 minutes, right? So if you have 10 cars, 9 are waiting, 1's going through. Is that 40 minutes? Because it's 10 cars?
No, you'll have 3 or 4 cars, maybe even more. How long is this tunnel? 120. So you have 4 or 5 cars in the tunnel at the same time, so they're moving through.
Oh, okay. Go.
I have one other question. On your conceptual drawing, it looks like you guys only have 11 foot from the front of the parking lot to the sidewalk.
Yes.
That is correct.
You want to show that with your pointer on there?
Right here.
Okay.
So from the edge of the vacuums to the sidewalk is 11 feet.
Correct.
Okay. Do we have any other questions from the commission? Any? No. Bob? Okay. Well, we certainly thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for coming.
We're glad to have you in front of us, and hopefully things will work out. We'll see.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on our agenda, and have a good evening, folks.
Thank you very much.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is a subdivision, Property Perfection, Inc., 818 Big Oak Road, Yardley, is requesting final subdivision approval to subdivide existing parcel into 2 lots and construct 2 storefront dwellings,
Single-family.
single-family dwellings.
Again, I take the blame for that.
I was
Okay.
looking at it too, preparing just in case.
That's Dana's fault, John.
on the property located at 1906 Dixon Avenue, Bristol, tax parcel number -05-009-368, in an R-2 residential zoning district.
Good evening again, Chelsea Jackman from Begley, Carlin, and Mandio, here tonight on behalf of the applicant, Property Perfection, Inc. Standing behind me is Joe Kearns. In the red shirt behind him is his son, Julian Kearns, and his partner, Frank Sadusky, all of Property Perfections, Inc. And then also seated behind me is the project engineer, Larry Young. So as you stated, and on the screen is the last one, but I think Bob is pulling up the plan for this particular project.
Yeah, we don't want to use that twice.
You didn't know this was also their presentation? You didn't know that?
No.
It's a storefront.
That's me, my bad. As stated,
wanted a free car wash for life. She was about
I have a very special affinity for car washes, but for another day. Anyway, we are here tonight seeking recommendation for final subdivision and land development for a 13,355.4 square foot parcel to be subdivided into 2 single-family detached lots in the R2 residential zoning district.
So they're not storefronts?
They are not storefronts nor car washes. The proposed lot 1 is to be 6672 square feet, and lot 2 is to be 6682 100 square feet. And so lot 1, the plan is to remove the existing dwelling and construct a new single-family detached dwelling, and for lot 2, it's to construct a new dwelling that obviously doesn't exist right now. So both lots will be served by public water and public sewer, and the result is ultimately replacing one of the existing dwellings and erecting a second one, replacing the first. On separate conforming lots. So the property is located at the southeast corner of the intersection of Dixon Avenue and Spring Avenue. The proposal redevelops an existing residential lot, as I stated, that it's going to be demolishing on lot 1 and constructing a cleaner, a more beautiful, more conventional residential development consistent with the surrounding neighborhood in that area. So there will be no negative impact to the community. They make beautiful homes. The neighborhood frankly stands to gain aesthetically by what...
Chelsea, I'm just kind of curious. Do you have a pointer to show us where these properties are located?
I do. I'm going to have Mr. Young do it. Mr. Young would like, has elected to use his plan, but I do
Okay.
have a visual. Mr. McTague has a visual separately, so we can put that up if you'd like to see another visual as well. But I'm going to let Mr. Young come on up and get into a little bit more detail. But before I do, in Mr. McTague's infinite diligence prior to today's hearing, or today's meeting, reached out to say that the property has overgrown grass to the extent of multiple feet. I brought that to the applicant's attention, and he was unaware that it was not being cut. He was advised that it had been getting cut.
We advised that it was cut. It obviously wasn't. I got Harvey Spencer. Bob and Kurt both know him very well. He's going to be going out first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Taking care of everything. We got one of our guys going to clean up some of the trash on the property. I apologize. It just fell through.
Don't apologize. You weren't doing the cutting.
The alert came in after hours today, and when we walked in, he said somebody will be there tomorrow morning to handle that. So
That's
that's
good.
the kind of developer that you have looking to put something up here in Bristol. So with that, that's just the general summary. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Young to go through the waivers, if that's okay. And then if you want to see more visual, I know that there's a slide that will show that for you. Mr. Young?
Good evening.
Good
Larry
evening.
Young
How you
from
do-
Tri-State.
How you doing?
All right, how are you?
I'm blessed to have another day.
Again?
Still.
Like Chelsea said, there's 2 lots here. Each, it's about 1,400 square foot building footprint. They each have driveways out to Spring Avenue And there are 2 seepage pits for stormwater that will handle the runoff from the additional impervious. So the list of waivers, that's under section.
If you could put some excitement in your voice, it'd be a lot better for us to hear. Thank you.
Well, we're proposing storefront property here. No. So the waivers are on.
Real quick.
I'd like to see some
If nothing
storefront
else, we
property
do
in
have fun at
Bristol
this
Township.
commission meeting.
Oh, I know.
I must say, this
I
has turned
remember.
around.
I remember. Bob was still a little boy when I was here.
If you guys could motion to deny this.
So under section 3, under waivers requested, section 177-35A, we're requesting that the right-of-way remain 40 feet wide on Spring and Dixon. The whole neighborhood is set up on 45-foot right-of-way. So we're not asking anything out of the ordinary. Second waiver request, there's several sections that pertain to sidewalks. It's 177-35A, 177-43A, 177-66A. We're requesting a waiver to from providing sidewalk on both Spring and Dixon. Can you hold on a minute? Get to a bigger scale. Okay. So that's the next waiver. The third one is 177-35B. We're requesting that the existing cartway widths on Dixon and Spring Avenue remain the same. They range from about 18 feet to 22 feet wide. And like I said, the net effect is just one more house that we're proposing. We're demolishing the existing, putting a new house up, but there's only a net gain of one house on here. The fourth waiver comprises of several sections: 177-35A, 177-45A, 177-67A, and that's to request that no curbing be provided along Dixon and Spring Avenue. The fifth waiver is a waiver from grading within 5 feet of a property line, section 177-48D3. That occurs back here. We're taking the water line and the sewer line off of Dixon, and not, there is no water or sewer in this section of Spring Avenue. So we're coming through an easement through Lot 1 to service Lot 2. The next waiver is 177-49A. It's to request the easement width to be proposed at 10 feet wide versus 20 feet wide. Again, these are smaller lots, 6,500 square feet. We're sitting at 6,672 square feet. You know, there's a little backyard here, and pushing it back 10 more feet, that's less backyard they would have. It's unencumbered. So, seventh is 177-51A, partial waiver for requiring street trees along Dixon Avenue and Spring Avenue. We have overhead lines on Dixon. We also have overhead lines on Spring. They constantly interfere with driveway site distances, and we do have some street trees out there that would not affect the site distance. The next waiver is for the plan scale, 17793A1. It's just to provide, we're at 20 scale versus 50 or 100 scale that's required. It's just to show greater detail. And ninth one is to not show 17793C3. It's to not show things in the surrounding properties within 200 feet of the property. We did provide an aerial at the end of the plan set that pretty much shows the surrounding properties. And then there's one section under the stormwater ordinance that is, there's a requirement that the volume and peak rate diminish in not less than 24 hours. Both of these lots have soil testing that was almost like a sandy consistency. It was 45 inches per hour, and one was 25 inches per hour. Even if we slow that down, we're nowhere close to 24 hours. Using 5 or 6 inches per hour, we're still at 3 hours. So the small watershed that gets to these things, it's almost impossible to slow it down that much. And we don't want to slow it down that much because it totally relies on infiltration. So there's nothing spilling, you know, outside of these areas. It's all going to these systems underneath. And we don't want it to slow over with time, you know. So they were the waivers.
And aside of these waivers, everything else is a will comply?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Commissioners, you've heard the presentation. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion. To recommend to council the subdivision of Property Perfection, Inc., 818 Big Oak Road, Yardley, requesting final subdivision approval to subdivide existing parcel into 2 lots and construct 2 single-family dwellings on the property located at 1906 Dixon Ave, Bristol tax parcel number 05-009-368, in an R2 residential zoning district, along with the 10 waivers in the tri-state engineer letter dated April 28th of 2026. Also noting that the Gilmore and Associates letter dated June 1st of 2026 is also a will comply.
Okay, I have a motion. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved in second. Any comments or questions on the motion?
Mr. Brad, there's a picture, just wanted to show you we had one. There's a picture for you. You had asked about a picture, I just wanted to show you. We
Okay.
had one for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Other than that, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you
Good,
very much.
good luck.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Have a good evening, folks.
What a meeting.
Having nothing else on our agenda, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
It's been moved. Do I have a second? And second. Comments or questions? Hearing none, all say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's
They're already
unanimous.
done.
Good evening, everyone. The meeting is adjourned.